welcome. It really is wonderful to have you with us again. Whether this is your first deep dive into the course with us or, you're continuing your journey, we're just so glad you're here.
And if you have questions as we go or feedback, maybe want to share your own experience with these lessons, feel free to email us. It's acim@theworldharmonyproject.org.
And you can also find us on TikTok. That handle is at the World Harmony Project.
Right. We are diving deep today into Lesson 155.
So Lesson 155, it feels like quite a significant marker on this path we're all walking together. It definitely represents, I think, a deepening of our understanding.
And our ability to actually apply these truths day to day. It absolutely does. So as we always do before we start unpacking the ideas, let's begin by reading today's lesson aloud.
There's a way of living in the world that is not here, although it seems to be. You do not change appearance, though you smile more frequently. Your forehead is serene. Your eyes are quiet, and the ones who walk the world as you do recognize their own. Yet those who have not yet perceived the way will recognize you also, and believe that you are like them as you were before. The world is an illusion. Those who choose to come to it are seeking for a place where they can be illusions and avoid their own reality. Yet when they find their own reality is even here, then they step back and let it lead the way. What other choice is really theirs to make? To let illusions walk ahead of truth is madness. But to let illusions sink behind the truth and let the truth stand forth as what it is merely sanity. This is the simple choice we make today. The mad illusion will remain a while in evidence for those to look upon who chose to come and have not yet rejoiced to find they were mistaken in their choice. They cannot learn directly from the truth because they have denied that it is so.
And so they need a teacher who perceives their madness, but who still can look beyond illusion to the simple truth in them. If truth demanded to give up the world, it would appear to them as if it asked the sacrifice of something that is real. Many have chosen to renounce the world while still believing its reality, and they have suffered from a sense of loss and have not been released accordingly. Others have chosen nothing but the world, and they have suffered from a sense of loss still deeper, which they did not understand. Between these paths, there is another road that leads away from loss of every kind. For sacrifice and deprivation, both are quickly left behind. This is the way appointed for you now. You walk this path as others walk, nor do you seem to be distinct from them, although you are indeed. Thus can you serve them while you serve yourself, and set their footsteps on the way that God has opened up to you and them through you. Illusion still appears to cling to you, that you may reach them, yet it has stepped back. And it is not illusion that they hear you speak of, nor illusion that you bring their eyes to look on and their minds to grasp. Nor can the truth which walks ahead of you speak to them through illusions. For the road leads past illusion now, while on the way you call to them, that they may follow you. All roads will lead to this one in the end. For sacrifice and deprivation are paths that lead nowhere, choices for defeat, and aims that will remain impossible. All this steps back as truth comes forth in you to lead your brothers from the ways of death and set them on the way to happiness. Their suffering is but illusion. Yet they need a guide to lead them out of it, for they mistake illusion for the truth. Such is salvation's call, and nothing more. It asks that you accept the truth and let it go before you, lighting up the path of ransom from illusion. It is not a ransom with a price. There is no cost, but only gain. Illusion can but seem to hold in chains the Holy Son of God. It is but from illusions he is saved. As they step back, he finds himself again. Walk safely now, yet carefully, because this path is new to you, and you may find that you are tempted still to walk ahead of truth, and let illusions be your guide. Your holy brothers have been given you to follow in your footsteps as you walk with certainty of purpose to the truth. It goes before you now, that they may see something with which they can identify, something they understand to lead the way. Yet at the journey's ending there will be no gap, no distance between truth and you. And all illusions walking in the way you traveled will be gone from you as well, with nothing left to keep the truth apart from God's completion, holy as himself. Step back in faith and let truth lead the way. You know not where you go, but one who knows goes with you. Let him lead you with the rest. When dreams are over, time has closed the door on all the things that pass, and miracles are purposeless. The Holy Son of God will make no journeys. There will be no wish to be illusion rather than the truth. And we step forth toward this as we progress along the way that truth points out to us. This is our final journey, which we make for everyone. We must not lose our way. For as truth goes before us, so it goes before our brothers who will follow us. We walk to God. Pause and reflect on this. Could any way be holier or more deserving of your effort, of your love, and of your full intent? What way could give you more than everything or offer less and still content the Holy Son of God? We walk to God. The truth that walks before us now is one with Him and leads us to where He has always been. What way but this could be a path that you would choose instead? Your feet are safely set upon the road that leads the world to God. Look not to ways that seem to lead you elsewhere. Dreams are not a worthy guide for you who are God's son. Forget not He has placed His hand in yours and given you your brothers in His trust that you are worthy of His trust in you. He cannot be deceived. His trust has made your pathway certain and your goal secure. You will not fail your brothers nor yourself. And now He asks but that you think of Him a while each day, that He may speak to you and tell you of His love, reminding you how great His trust, how limitless His love. In your name and His own, which are the same, we practice gladly with this thought today. And now He asks but that you think of Him a while each day, that He may speak to you and tell you of His love, reminding you how great His trust, how limitless His love. In your name and His own, which are the same, we practice gladly with this thought today. I will step back and let Him lead the way, for I would walk along the road to Him.
Okay, diving into Lesson 155. First, we really want to acknowledge something that, well, we've both certainly experienced, and we hear from many of you too. The language in the course can sometimes feel quite dense.
It really can, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially as the lessons progress and become more poetic. They're reaching for something deeper than just intellectual understanding, aren't they? A feeling. But it's so important to remember that feeling challenged by it is completely natural. It's okay.
Absolutely okay. This isn't some kind of race to get it first or know more than anyone else. We really are all equals walking this path, learning side by side, helping each other out. And please, use the resources, ask questions, find study partners, look at online sites, books, and, well, explorations like this one.
That's exactly why we do this deep dive. It's our way of trying to unpack that beautiful, sometimes challenging instructional language. We hope it makes these profound lessons feel a bit more accessible, more applicable in your daily life.
Definitely.
And this particular lesson, 155, presents what feels like a truly radical reorientation. It's this fundamental shift, moving away from believing that our own limited understanding is the best compass, and instead cultivating a willingness, a genuine openness, to be led by a wisdom that's far greater than our own individual minds can grasp.
That makes sense when you think about how much energy we tend to pour into trying to control everything.
Oh, exactly. Trying to manage outcomes, fix relationships, meticulously plan the future.
And often feeling completely drained and, frankly, pretty unhappy despite all that effort.
That's the point the lesson highlights. That struggle often comes directly from the attempt to control everything from our limited viewpoint. And the really surprising part here is the idea that surrender, letting go into that higher purpose, isn't about loss at all.
It's the opposite.
It's the gateway, the path to effortless joy and genuine freedom.
Which completely flips conventional wisdom on its head, doesn't it? We're taught control equals safety, equals security. But the Course seems to say, not really.
Not the kind of control the ego seeks anyway. And it's crucial. This isn't about passive resignation, just giving up. It's an active, conscious choice. A decision to align with this loving intelligence that, the lesson assures us, always knows our highest good.
It's a powerful reclaiming of peace, then, not apathy.
Exactly.
Okay, let's dig into some of the core insights this lesson offers. One of the first things it seems to touch on is our whole perception of reality itself. It points out how we often mistake the external world, the one that's always changing, for what's actually real.
And think about how much energy we invest in seeking happiness and security in those fleeting external things, believing, oh, if only I had this job or that relationship or this amount of money, then I'd finally be content.
Right, the constant chase. But the key takeaway here, the lesson gently reminds us, is that true reality and our true self lies completely beyond these illusions we perceive. It's really an inward shift of focus it's calling for.
Which leads right into another really profound point. The idea that letting Him, higher wisdom, truth, God, Spirit lead the way isn't actually a sacrifice.
It feels like it might be, initially.
It does. But the lesson insists it's about gaining absolutely everything that truly matters.
That can feel so counterintuitive at first. It sounds like you're giving up the steering wheel, letting go of control. But the lesson frames it as, well, the only sane choice.
It does, and that's the deep insight, isn't it? It's the choice that leads us away from the suffering and the constant sense of loss that comes from relying on illusion. And it replaces that struggle with this profound sense of peace and just rightness.
Yeah.
It's sanity returning.
Okay, so if we start to embrace this shift, moving from rigid self-direction towards allowing this higher guidance, what does that actually look like in our interactions? With the world, with other people?
Well, this is the third vital takeaway, and it's beautiful, I think. By embodying this inner shift, by living from that place of trust, we naturally become a kind of light for others.
So it's not about consciously changing our appearance or going out and trying to convert people.
Not at all. The lesson is clear. Our inner serenity, that quiet underlying joy that becomes the beacon. It's not something we have to actively do, it becomes something we simply are.
And that state of being just naturally serves as a guide for others who are also looking for a way out of the illusion. They might recognize something familiar, something peaceful in us.
Exactly. It becomes an invitation, offered just through our presence, our quiet confidence in this other way.
Let's really try to unpack the heart of this lesson, that simple but incredibly profound statement. I will step back and let him lead the way. I mean, we've all felt lost sometimes, right? Confused, maybe deeply unhappy, even when we're trying our absolute hardest to figure things out.
Oh, absolutely.
And then the lesson offers this radically different approach. It suggests stepping back.
Recognizing that our individual self, the ego mind we've talked about so much in earlier lessons, is inherently limited. It's profoundly conditioned by past experiences, by fears, by anxieties, and it operates from such a narrow perspective. It simply cannot see the whole picture or what's truly possible beyond its own limitations.
So stepping back isn't really giving up control. It's more like giving up limited, often misguided control to allow for an unlimited, wiser guidance.
Precisely. That's a great way to put it. It creates the necessary space, the quietness for that higher wisdom, the internal guide that the lesson assures us is already within us to emerge. It's often just been drowned out by our frantic attempts at self-management.
And this internal guide, how does the lesson describe its nature? What's it like?
It's described as the part of us that inherently knows the way forward, the part that sees beyond all the illusion, the dramas, the fears we get tangled up in. And it always leads us towards true, sustainable happiness and deep, abiding peace.
And importantly, it's described as a gentle presence, a reassuring voice, not something harsh or demanding sacrifice, but something that offers ultimate liberation from struggle. The lesson even says we don't have to understand the entire journey ahead.
No, not at all. We simply need the willingness to follow, just for the next step, trusting completely that the path unfolding right in front of us is the perfect one for our learning, for our awakening, moment by moment.
And practicing this, living this way, is what cultivates that inner serenity, that quiet joy we were talking about earlier, something that becomes tangible, even palpable to those around us, whether they understand its source or not.
Yes. We become, in essence, living examples, demonstrating through our own peace that there truly is, as the lesson says, a way of living in the world that is not here. It changes our whole inner landscape, which inevitably affects our outer world, even if nothing visibly changes immediately.
So let's bring this down to earth. How does this actually look in action for us as, fellow practitioners trying to live the course? How do we apply I will step back and let him lead the way in practical everyday situations? Maybe we could look at a few scenarios. Take navigating career decisions, for instance.
Okay, yeah. Careers. We often feel this immense pressure, don't we? To map out every single step, strive tirelessly for specific promotions, network constantly, control the outcome. It feels like we have to force it to happen through sheer effort and will.
And applying this lesson in that context means pausing that frantic energy, taking a breath and invoking that thought. I will step back and let him lead the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what that might look like in practice is being genuinely open to opportunities or paths we might never have considered within our own, often quite linear, thinking. It means trusting that the right doors will open at the right time and the necessary guidance or connections will appear when needed.
So maybe it's listening to that quiet, intuitive nudge about exploring a completely new field, even if it doesn't seem logical to the ego.
Absolutely. Or being open to a conversation with someone that seems random but turns out to be pivotal. Or even just releasing the intense anxiety around a job search. Doing the practical steps, yes, but allowing guidance to emerge instead of constantly pushing against perceived obstacles or forcing outcomes.
Wow, that feels incredibly different, much more spacious than the usual pressure cooker of career anxiety most of us experience. Okay,
Yep.
what about dealing with health challenges? That's another area where control feels paramount. Our natural inclination when faced with physical discomfort or illness is often to fight it, to demand control, or to fall into deep fear.
Yes, and applying the lesson here means first acknowledging the challenge honestly, but crucially, not letting it define us or consume us entirely with fear and worry.
It involves consciously stepping back from the fear and the anxiety that swirl around the condition itself.
And at the same time, listening really deeply to our bodies, being open to healing approaches or modalities that truly resonate with that inner knowing, that inner guidance, and fundamentally trusting that there is a higher intelligence, a healing intelligence at work in the process, even if we don't understand it.
And it's really crucial to clarify, this doesn't mean ignoring or neglecting medical advice. Not at all.
No, definitely not.
It's more about approaching that advice and the entire healing journey from a place of inner peace and openness rather than from panic and a desperate, futile need to control an inherently unpredictable situation.
That shift in internal posture, that internal stance, it really changes the whole experience of the challenge, doesn't it? It allows a certain grace into the process.
It absolutely does. Okay, one more. Think about resolving relationship conflicts. In those moments of tension, disagreement, hurt, the ego's default mode is almost always to want to be right. To defend its position fiercely, maybe assign blame.
Oh, definitely. The ego loves to be right. And applying I will step back and let him lead the way in a relationship dynamic, especially during conflict, means consciously suspending our own ego's agenda, choosing, sometimes moment by moment, to genuinely listen rather than just prepare our rebuttal.
And being willing to try and see the situation from a broader perspective, a more compassionate one maybe. The kind the ego often just cannot access because it's too busy defending its own territory.
Exactly. It's about asking inwardly for guidance. How can I respond here with love rather than just reacting from my own hurt or defensiveness? It's allowing understanding, maybe even forgiveness, to emerge, even if that means letting go of the burning need to win the argument or prove our point.
These examples really show, especially maybe for those newer to the course listening, that this isn't just some lofty abstract theory.
Wait, not at all.
It's a deeply practical, fundamental practice for navigating the complexities of everyday life.
It truly is. So, wrapping up lesson 155, I will step back and let him lead the way. It really feels like this profound, liberating invitation. An invitation to release that heavy burden we carry when we try to direct everything ourselves from our limited perspective. It's a call to surrender in the best sense of the word to a higher, loving guidance that is always available, always within us. For me, this lesson cuts right to the core of the peace that the Course promises. It's the peace that comes when we finally stop fighting against reality, stop trying to force things, and just allow life to unfold under that wiser guidance.
It's such a beautiful reminder, isn't it, that true reality, true peace, isn't found out there in the chaotic world of form and illusion, but it's discovered within when we look beyond the illusions we habitually perceive.
And by consciously choosing to align with this inner wisdom, this quiet knowing, this inner teacher, we genuinely do discover a path of, well, almost effortless joy and freedom, something that was perhaps unimaginable when we were caught up in trying to steer the ship entirely by ourselves.
And emphasizing again, this choice isn't about giving up anything real or valuable. It's actually about gaining everything that genuinely matters, that deep, stable, inner peace, a clear sense of true purpose, and an unwavering connection to our authentic self, to our reality in God.
It really does transform our entire experience of life from the inside out. And as we discussed, embracing this principle doesn't just benefit us individually. It allows us, quite naturally, to become these beacons of light, just gently guiding others towards the same liberating truth, simply by living it ourselves.
That integration is so powerful. The idea that our inner peace becomes an outer light automatically without us even trying. It creates this amazing ripple effect. It really makes me think, what if every interaction we have today, whether it feels big or small, what if we started it with that quiet internal intention? Okay, I will step back and let him lead the way here. How might that one shift fundamentally alter our experience of the entire day?
We are walking this path with you, fellow practitioners, and we're just so grateful for your willingness to explore these deep lessons with us.
Thank you so much for listening.